You're probably thinking to yourself, oh boy, Pigeon's uploading another review on a game that isn't the first in the series. And to that I say, heh. Over the past few decades, Mario has had a ton of spin-offs, the most prominent ones being the Mario Party series, which just released another game last October or so, but there's also the Mario and Luigi series alongside the Paper Mario series, both solid RPG series with their own unique Super Mario spin. But there's another sub-series which skyrocketed in popularity over the last decade, known as Mario Kart, which at this point has become a behemoth of its own. Have you seen the sales numbers for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Very scary. But anyways, Mario Kart, it's as simple as it gets. You're Mario, and you're in a cart. Simple. Okay, video's over, go home. But there's one game in the series that I will adore for, well, I think you know what it is. It's Mario Kart Wii, which was released in 2008 for, you guessed it, the Nintendo Wii. You may have even heard of this game. This is actually the game I hear people talk about the most when it comes to the series, aside from 8 Deluxe. Mainly for two reasons, nostalgia and the renowned homebrewing community, bringing us mods such as CTGPR, Mario Kart Midnight, and so much more. Like many people who use the internet, I also grew up with Mario Kart Wii, so in all honesty, I'm not special when it comes to the video games I played. I know about the ultra shortcuts, I know about the unused content, I even know about all the mods. I just said some. Who do you think I am? Mario Kart Wii began development in 2005, simply known as Mario Kart X, which the X was mainly used to represent. Can you tell this game was made during the 2000s? The idea was rejected, and later on, the game would be revealed at E3 2007 with the title Mario Kart Wii. Alongside the announcement of the game would be the Wii Wheel, which I don't really see the purpose of this when I could just easily play the game with the Wii mode itself. I guess I could see it being used to make steering in the game easier, or rather, something that could be useful for beginners as intended, but other than that, nope, I do not see it. Mario Kart Wii would eventually release in April of 2008 and was met with much success, so much so that the game would eventually cause a cultural impact of sorts, since, at the time, the Wii was pretty much at the height of its popularity. And because of that, Mario Kart Wii became one of the best-selling games to be released, according to Wikipedia. It's also known for being the second best-selling Wii game of all time, only being beaten out by Wii Sports, which sold over 80 million copies. Damn console bundles. But looking back at this game, I only have two questions to ask. Does this game still hold up today, and do I still personally enjoy the game? Well, there's only one way to find out, as I take a look back at 2008's Mario Kart Wii. Booting up the game, we get our title screen, and strangely enough, we see a file select screen, which is something new to this game, and will only ever be seen in this game. In most Mario Kart games, you have the title screen, then you get the option on whether you want to play single player or multiplayer. Here, you're basically forced to choose a file, which, I'll be honest, I kinda admire the devs for putting in this feature, as I feel like it adds a bit of replayability for those who want to try and play it. Aside from that, the game features 12 playable characters at the start of the game. You get the usual suspects: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Toad, Donkey Kong, Wario, so on and so forth. Something that's different between DS and Wii though is that while each character in DS gets their own carts at the start of the game, the same can't be said for Wii, where every weight class gets their own sets of carts and bikes. Speaking of bikes, those are something new. The main difference between carts and bikes is that bikes basically clear out carts in this game, for a couple of reasons. Another thing I like about the bikes is their variety. While I don't tend to use the outside drifting bikes, I'm always down for using the inward drifting bikes. And also, the Dolphin Dasher exists, and in this Palm Tree, we love the Dolphin Dasher. Aside from that, bikes also have their disadvantages. Bumping into other drivers while pulling off a wheelie causes your wheelie to stop and you have to accelerate again. And while carts can emit orange sparks while drifting, allowing them to go faster, bikes only emit blue sparks while drifting, meaning that you'll get less of a boost while drifting with a bike. Speaking of drifting, there's two modes. Automatic mode, which allows the driver to turn sharply but eliminates the need to drift, while manual allows the driver to drift. I think you're better off just using manual mode, because at this point, automatic feels like you're at a disadvantage, while manual actually allows you to drift. I assume this mode was made for beginner players, but at the same time, why? I mean, I could drift freely in the previous games. What was stopping them from just using manual mode altogether? Moving away from that tangent, Mario Kart Wii has 32 tracks in total, 16 new and 16 old, and I'm gonna say it, a lot of the new ones featured in this game are pretty great. Some notable examples include Toad's Factory, Coconut Mall, DK Summit, Koopa Cape, and even this game's Rainbow Road are all solid standouts, with my favorite one being Maple Treeway. It's hard as balls when it comes to turning, but for what it's worth, the thing I enjoy the most about it is the aesthetic feels so unique to this game, and also I really love the music in this track. As for the retro courses, some of them are honestly not great. There's some great ones like GameCube Waluigi Stadium, DS Delfino Square, N64 Bowser's Castle, and GameCube DK Mountain. On the other hand, there's some ones I don't care about in particular. The SNES tracks and GBA Shy Guy Beach being some notable examples. I feel like this game's course selection is mostly decent though. I'm always down for a round of Coconut Mall, even if the course has become oversaturated by the internet at this point. Now for some actual game modes, and yes, there are actual game modes. There's the usual modes such as Grand Prix, Time Trial, Versus, and Battle Mode, which I don't like that much. It was always strange how the game doesn't allow you to play battle mode outside of teams. They always force you into teams, and the worst part is that in single player, you're not allowed to choose your team. Though 10 courses to choose from is a neat thing to have, I think it's pretty neat, but at the same time, I feel like the only battle course people are bound to remember is Funky Stadium, solely because the Funky Kong is awesome. And I can see why, just look at him. Look at him. So, cool. Is there anything else I could say about this game? Well, the game is interesting to say the very least, but it also has its fair share of flaws as well. Starting off with the most obvious one, this game looks ugly. Yeah, I know people say this a lot, but looking back at this game, the characters look like they're made out of plastic. Additionally, I feel like some of the textures don't look the best and are relatively blurry. I know a lot of Wii games look a lot more weird. Smash Bros. Brawl has a less saturated art style for some reason, but when I look at this game, it feels off. This is a Mario Kart game. The colors aren't supposed to be this dull. Also, unlocking things in this game. The unlock screen used to terrify the shit out of me as a child, but it's there. It's not a bad thing per se, but you're better off playing the actual Grand Prix and Time Trial modes than playing versus races. Seriously, I don't need to be playing over 5,000 versus races to unlock me Outfit B. On the other hand, playing through the game normally to unlock Rosalina can be easier said than done by simply having a Mario Galaxy save file and playing through 50 races, since you also need to beat every cup and mirror mode with at least 1 star or higher. So, in all honesty, it'd probably be better to unlock certain things in certain ways. Looking past that, we also have the Mario Kart channel, a new feature added to Mario Kart Wii. Here you can check out rankings, play in tournaments, and face off against time trial ghosts from players all across the world. Unfortunately, in May of 2014, Nintendo WFC servers shut down, meaning it's impossible to play these modes now. I'll elaborate more on this later. But honestly, looking back at this, it was really cool, and it's a shame the developers didn't implement this into future Mario Kart games. I mean, there's the time trial leaderboards in 7 and 8 Deluxe, but it's just not the same. The last point I want to go over is the online mode. While it wasn't the first one to implement online features, Mario Kart Wii popularized Wi-Fi play for future games. Personally, I think Wii does a great job at improving the online play from DS, since, well, I couldn't really play online when it came to Mario Kart DS, but after playing a bit of Mario Kart Wii online, I can say that the online is alright. Additionally, while you can't play online anymore, fans have gone out of their way to actually recreate Nintendo servers and make improvements upon the game through mods. CTGPR is often seen as the most favored one of the bunch. If I could get the damn thing to work! It adds over 200 custom tracks to the game and adds new features to it as well, such as customization, new game modes, and also implementing 200cc. I think my main issue with the mod is that I can't even boot up the damn mod anymore, but that shouldn't stop me from saying I enjoyed playing the mod. There's also a bunch of other mods such as Mario Kart Midnight and Retro Rewind, but a lot of people enjoy using CTGP since it's the most accessible mod and is still being used by many people to this day. Well, if you get it up and running. I feel like this proves that people still care about Mario Kart Wii, and honestly, I'm all for it. So, Mario Kart Wii, what a game! While I can praise it for its great soundtrack, its course selection, and the super blooper, I have to ask, is it still my favorite Mario Kart game? Given that the game looks ugly, can have ludicrous but optional unlock conditions, the online doesn't work anymore, hell, the battle mode forces me to play on teams. But looking past those reasons, this is a really solid Mario Kart game. There's a lot you can do even without online play, but now that I'm taking a closer look at this game, I don't know. It can be accessible, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's the most beginner-friendly Mario Kart game. There's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I feel like everyone and their grandmother has experienced it at least once in their life, and I don't blame them. 8 Deluxe has over 90 courses to choose from, the character roster is the largest it's ever been, and there's better accessibility options, but at the same time, I feel like 8 Deluxe doesn't have the same charm as Wii, so therefore, I think it's safe to say that Mario Kart Wii ain't my favorite Mario Kart game anymore. In all honesty, that's just what I think. Yes, it has its flaws, but when I look deeper into its flaws, Mario Kart Wii turns out to be a fun thing to play from time to time. Not all the time, though. I mean, it has its charm to it, I really enjoy it, and I used to say it was my favorite Mario Kart game, but, you know, can you really blame me? Now, do I recommend it to newcomers? I'm unsure now, considering the fact that Nintendo shut down the service in 2014, and the fact that the only way to actually enjoy the game fully is through unofficial means. You're better off just getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or something, or better yet, buying a copy of Mario Kart Wii U for the same price as a modern day Switch game. Or, you know, just emulating it too, there's that. Oh yeah, did I also mention Funky Kong was in this game too? Yeah, this was the game that introduced Funky Kong. Yeah, he's top tier in this game, and I think that's funny as hell. Anyways, that's all the time I have for today. I gotta get back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. Also, you might be wondering about the items in this game. Yeah, fuck them.